Welcome to Let's Be Real Entertainment. In this video, I'm going to show you a speech or presentation by Schneider, an ex-military engineer who worked deep underground in the military bases. He reveals the New World Order alien agenda to take over the whole population by 2029. And then I will show you a book called The Prisoners of Dulce Base by Sherry Schreiner, which is narrated by Joe Biden, the President of the United States. The book Prisoners of Dulce Base also mentions Thomas Castello, who is also a whistleblower. Schneider was found with a piano wire wrapped around his neck with signs of torture. They claimed it was a suicide. Thomas Castello and his whole family was never found again. After gathering all this information, connecting all the dots, this all confirms the claims of Donald Marshall, the biggest whistleblower on the planet.
Please welcome Mr. Phil Schneider.
I'm Phil Schneider. I spent 17 years in black budget programs, government geologist, as engineer, structural engineer with aerospace applications. Right now there are 131 active deep underground military bases in the United States. There's 1,477 of them worldwide. Each one has an average cost of $17 to $19 billion. Each one is built in the site, it used to be, it'd take a year to 2 years to build each one, and now they're capable of building a couple of them a year with sophisticated methods. My colleague Al Bielek has actually been on some of the high-speed railways, the magneto-leviton trains that connect all the deep underground military bases within the United States. He's been on a Mach 2 train and floats off of a single rail at a 3/4 of an inch off the rail, and is what you'd call high-tech. We have nothing like this on the surface. Groom Lake is where the infamous Area 51, S4, S2, a CIA base, it was originally a bombing range, a nuclear test site. It was later become the most secret base in the United States. It employs over 18,000 workers who work in shifts of 12 hours at a whack. Most of them work in the cover of darkness, like us. We built 9 underground military bases there, each with an average capacity capable of basically a city underground, roughly 4¼ cubic miles hollowed out underground. They have boring machines, for instance. They don't bore, they literally vitrify and melt the rock, deflagrate the rock. It's a very sophisticated laser melting and deflagrating system. It reduces the rock to a powder and then melts the remaining rock as a coating on the inside of the base, so you don't have to use gunite cements and other kinds of things like that. That's all old hat now. Technology is just basically, the new technology we get is the old hat of the military. Another thing I want to reach to you is that during the unbelievable part, I was involved in building another base inside of Dulce, New Mexico, which is Los Alamos Laboratory. It's a biological laboratory. On the southwest part of the Archuleta Mesa, we built an underground facility, a better part of 3 cubic miles hollowed out underground. Then to the southwest of that, we were in the process of the early stages of building. We drilled 4 large tunnel-like holes. Some of them ran 2.5 miles under the surface. Number of the original wells or drilling machines that were used were at the rate of 2 miles a day. It was fairly rapid. The equipment kept coming up broken, so we wanted to go down. We wanted to send somebody down there, a human observer, or human observers in this case, to find out what was going on. Well, to our total surprise, first of all, the government knew all about it. They didn't tell anybody. When I saw Green Beret and Black Beret people encamped inside of our geologist camp, I knew something was up, the gig was up. First of all, I knew all about the alien agenda. I'll explain that in a few minutes. The large alien grays had been encamped there for as best as believed possible about 400 or 500 years. Had been one of their internal bases. And we drilled holes right on top of it. All the stinking air, all the black sooty air came right out as soon as the first hole was sunk, and all this soot came up, and well, that's when all the hell broke loose, really, all it started. Anyway, after we drilled all 4 holes, it took about 2 days to drill all 4 of them. And when you build an underground base, you drill 4 basic holes, and then you build called stopes or cross-member holes across, and then you use blasting equipment, special blasting equipment by the analyzation of the rock formation, and you literally blast out or tunnel out or deflagrate or melt rock out to build the large rooms that are required for this underground base. Well, in this process, I was lowered down the basket of one of these holes, and about from me to this elderly woman here in the front was sitting a 7-foot-tall alien gray. The stench was worse than the worst garbage can you can imagine. The person or the entity was absolutely horrible. I didn't waste any time. I reached for my pistol. At that time, as an engineer, I didn't have time to carry all the folderol of one of these big submachine guns that all the sea spray and the yellow fruit and all the outer perimeter and inner perimeter security people carried. I carried a little Walter PPK pistol with a 9-shot clip. This was in late August of 1979. Now, you got a regular suit of clothes, you got a regular clothes on, plus you're in almost like a spacesuit environment, and you're reaching for a gun. It's not the easiest thing to do, and then to pop a clip in it and start shooting. And I killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal, and they do die. However, in the process, one of them did this. All I remember is that he just kind of waved his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish, and burnt my fingers right off of me. And it was some form of electrical force, because the kind of like being hit by a lightning bolt burned all my toenails off of me. Completely crispy crittered my left foot, burnt the shoe right off of me. All I remember was the smoking remains, and I'm still conscious, but in and out of, I didn't remember much. And there was a Green Beret that was right behind me that risked his life. In fact, he died. But he risked his life. He shoved me back in the basket and hit the button and took me up. And I wouldn't be alive talking to you today if it wasn't for him. I'm forever indebted. He lost his life. 66 Secret Service agents, Green Berets, Black Berets, crack troops lost their lives because the government, our United States government, lied, did not tell us anything about the alien threat. In fact, I have a picture, let me reach for it here. I have a picture of one of the aliens been working for the United States Pentagon for the last 58 years. His name is Val Valiant Thor. He's right here. There's my father in the background. This whole place, the ready room of the USS Eldridge, Al Bielek has probably explained, or maybe even shown you this picture. There's a list of some of the notable people in it. They're all the atomic bomb scientists of the day, all the time variant experimentalists of the day, all the top physicists of that particular day. This was in August of 1943. We mentioned to you something that's very scary indeed, and tell you what the alien agenda is. And it's going to sound very familiar. The alien agenda is the complete takeover of this planet, the killing off of 5/6 to 7/8 of the world's population by the year 2029. U.S. military has known about this for 45 years. They've told no one. As far as I know, I'm the only person standing before a crowd talking about the alien agenda, secretively. Okay. Back in 1954, I'll give you a quick overview. There was the created 1954 treaty where Eisenhower signed a pact with the known alien species of the time. There were 3 at the time. And said that we're going to deal in high technology, but you can take a few head of cattle and a few human beings and you can experiment on them. It's unthinkable. It's stuff straight out of the Nazi death camps, and I'm kidding you not, it's plain BS. There are 9 races of alien populations. To look at a human being as a bag of food. They're not cannibals. They don't eat the flesh and the bones and all that kind of stuff. They use the glandular secretions of animals and human beings as a mixture of the vitamins for their food. They get high off of our adrenal gland substances called adrenal chrome. It's something like cocaine to them. Now, what can we do about it?
So let's get on with it. The Prisoners of Dulce Base by Sherry Schreiner. There are many secret underground facilities, such as the Los Alamos base that provides an underground garage for the human American UFO fleets located in Los Alamos, New Mexico. Even so, it is the Archuleta Mesa that is considered as the capital of the alien segment of the secret Bavarian Draconian Illuminati alien New World Order government in America, while the Denver International Airport is the capital of the human segment of the secret New World Order government. In many underground bases, these aliens and humans work alongside each other. However, the Lord has shown me that these humans who have agreed to work with the aliens have been taken over by them and are controlled by them. The humans have been possessed by the aliens and assimilated into the alien collective that is controlled and manipulated by Lucifer himself. That makes sense. Our leaders cannot be that bad. They have to be possessed, and I mean hypnotized. Now she's talking about an actual possession where they kick out the soul and they take over the body. Continuing, when our government officials first made contact with these aliens and started signing treaties with them, the process was underway for total Luciferian control of our government through the backdoor shadow government. She wrote this almost 10 years ago, and I find she was prophetic. Continuing, our government, naive to the tactics and strategies of the devil, gave him permission to indirectly work through his alien forces to work with our government and military officials, thus unknowingly allowing for the eventual possession and soul scalping of all those who had come in contact with these aliens. Secret societies and occultic groups that have existed since the beginning of time under different names, all established to worship Satan and enslave those involved to Lucifer, have come into almost complete domination in these last days of almost every government in the world. Only high-ranking Freemasons, Scottish Rite, and other societies under the umbrella of Luciferian control have been allowed into positions of gaining security clearance to even come in contact with these aliens. Even at the lower ranking levels of these societies, the members are required to acknowledge allegiance to Lucifer as the god of light or God of this world, or whatever other deceptive verbiage they are required to recite as an oath. And this is what gives Lucifer's demons and aliens permission to possess and control these humans. The dark side and forces of evil operate on a permission basis. When someone takes an oath to Satan, no matter how deceived they are about the kind of oath they are taking, they are giving him permission to enter, demonize, and possess them. Secret societies that require oaths to join them are of the devil. Making oaths to the dark side allows the demonic to possess those in them, and when they are physically dead, Satan will possess their souls forever. Ooh. In the meantime, they can be soul scalped and replaced by aliens or demons who then take over their bodies. This shadow government running alongside ours is controlled by these secret societies. The Council of Foreign Relations and the Trilateral Commission are, in reality, secret societies because, in order to be accepted as a member in either one of them, one has to be a Mason or member of one of the other Lucifer-controlled societies. At this level, this allows the aliens to take complete bodily possession of the humans involved with them. And this is one of the areas where the shape-shifting phenomena comes from. For those involved with the shadow government and the secret societies, first they lose their autonomy and individuality as human beings, then they lose their bodies, and eventually their souls. Many have been soul scalped and replaced by aliens themselves who now inhabit their bodies permanently. There is evidence of an agreement called the 100 Treaty that began in 1933 by Franklin Roosevelt between the aliens and government of the United States. It was shortly after agreement started taking place that the alien infestation of our government and elected offices started taking place. When you go to bed with the devil, you're not going to come out of it looking like an angel. The science fiction movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind was sold to the public as the first contact we had with aliens. Of course, created in fiction format so no one would believe it. But in reality, contact had been made in 1933. It could have been earlier than this, but if there was contact, it's been kept well hidden. We know there are many underground bases, practically underground cities, that are kept well hidden and out of public view that sprang up as a result of having alien contact and making treaties with them. These treaties called for joint bases to be built for the exchange of technology with aliens. Our scientists and experts worked side by side with aliens and taught the new forms of technology that had been agreed upon. For instance, our government allows the aliens to mutilate animals and kidnap humans in exchange for anti-gravity technology, microchips, lasers, free energy, and more. In exchange, those corrupt leaders agreed to deny their existence, cover up their crashed UFOs, lie about human abductions and animal mutilations, and keep a lid on an alien presence in this country. While these aliens mutilated animals for body parts and abducted humans for experiments, hybridization, soul scalping, chip implantation, mind control programming, dreamscape manipulation, genetic engineering experiments, crossbreeding, cloning, harvesting for body parts, and using humans for food. Meanwhile, our government looks the other way and protects them while they are doing it, and this still happens today. At the same time, while the aliens have been implementing their hideous agenda onto us and worldwide, our shadow government has been taught the same technology and has been implementing it on us themselves, such as chip implantation, mind control programming, dreamscape manipulation, genetic experimentation, super soldier, cloning, and global tracking and control. And I might add, soon they will be eating us. Our own species will be eating us. Continuing, we have also learned anti-gravity research and literally have our own UFO fleets that are built underground, tested at Area 51, painted at Area 52, and stored at Los Alamos, among other bases. Some of the different security forces that protect and guard these bases include the Delta Force, Black Berets, Air Force Blue Berets, Secret Service, FBI Division 5, CIA Stormtroopers, and the base's own security and the base's own special security themselves. It has been alleged that many involved with these security divisions have been soul scalped or programmed to keep them under the control of the alien shadow government. I want to focus attention here on the Dulce Base. Perhaps later the Lord will lead me to expose the others, but for now this base has been brought to my attention by Him, and it would be dereliction of my duty to not bring more attention to it, where it is, and what it is. My information comes from the Most High God Himself, who has given me spiritual visions about these bases, along with reports gathered and written by William Cooper, Philip Schneider, Thomas Castello, Branton, and others, who risked their lives to bring information on these underground bases public. William Cooper and Philip Schneider were killed, and Thomas Castello is allegedly dead as well. Many others, such as Branton, now a good friend of mine, has suffered through attempted assassinations or are constantly monitored and watched as a result of bringing public awareness to these underground bases. The Dulce Base. This joint CIA human-alien base is located under the Archuleta Mesa in Dulce, New Mexico, close to the Colorado border and situated on the Jicarilla Apache Indian Reservation. The Dulce Base is approximately 2.5 miles northwest of Dulce and a town located off US 64 with a population of approximately 900 to 1,700 people. Dulce is a small town with one motel and a gas station, but underneath the surface of the entire area lies a vast complex and network of bases and shuttle systems that crisscross through the entire country. Dulce is the central hub. The Dulce Base is more technically known as the Biogenics Laboratory, including but by no means limited to atomic manipulation, cloning, human psychic research, advanced mind control, animal-human crossbreeding, visual and audio chip implantation, and the abduction and feeding off of humans, including children. It is the second largest reptilian and gray base in North America, yet it is the central hub for all the underground bases. The largest base is located by Taos, New Mexico. The Dulce Base was built on top of deep caverns that extend for hundreds of miles underground. There are 7 levels of the Dulce Base that are known of. The caverns underneath are off limits, and even most of the levels themselves are not accessible without strict security clearance to those who qualify to be on them.
The reason I call Donald Marshall the biggest whistleblower on the planet is simply because he is. Even Thomas Castello, Philip Schneider, and Joe Biden, who all have ties with the government, didn't reveal as much truth as Donald Marshall, because even those working in the military can't get to certain levels and areas in the base, right? That's why Philip Schneider, although he revealed a lot, never mentioned real lizards. He mentioned real type 3 grays, which Donald Marshall already had revealed. And Joe Biden didn't mention real lizards. He just mentioned soul scalping, which is real lizards. But Donald Marshall actually gave us the truth. But Philip Schneider is still a hero and should be remembered, as well as Thomas Castello and as well as Joe Biden, because all of their information gives us more proof and evidence of what Donald claimed.